This is VOP TV. Do you know what that means? Voice of the People TV. You don't have a voice, don't come here. You better make sure your voice is heard.
Are you ready for the extraordinary? Something big is happening on your screen. Introducing VOP TV. Now streaming on SLTV channel 264. From breaking news to captivating conversations, news analysis, giving you all sides to the story. We break in-depth discussions on the issues that matter, from politics to sports, entertainment, and lifestyle. VOP TV on SLTV channel 264. Join us as we redefine what television means to you.
Well, hello and welcome to the Midday News and Voice of the People Television. I am David Edwin. First, the headlines. Senate to resume deliberation on Electoral Act Amendment Bill amid public outrage. Nigerians in diaspora petitions National Assembly over Lagos-Calabar Highway compensation. U.S. to deport 79 convicted Nigerians on criminal list. NUPRC CEO says Africa needs unity to unlock energy mineral resources. Femi Falana says military officers accused of coup plot must face civilian courts, not court-martial. NIS warns Nigerians against fake recruitment websites in circulation. In business, NESG projects 5.5% GDP growth for Nigeria in 2026. In the world of sports, Leicester City boasts midfield with Joe Aribo's loan signing. In entertainment, Davido reveals Grammy-nominated With You almost missed 5 album. And now the news in full. The Nigerian Senate is set to resume deliberation on the Electoral Act Amendment Bill today amid growing public concerns over delays that could impact the credibility of the 2027 general elections. The upper chamber plans to conclude work on the bill and transmit it this week, following the establishment of a 7-member ad hoc committee to harmonize senators' positions and resolve outstanding issues. The committee, inaugurated last Thursday, has 3 days to conclude its assignment and is expected to submit a report today. The Electoral Act Repeal and Enactment Bill aims to introduce critical reforms, including electronic transmission of election results, stricter penalties for vote buying, and voting rights for inmates. Meanwhile, Nigerians in the diaspora, led by Mrs. Stella Okengu, have petitioned the National Assembly over alleged non-payment of compensation for demolished investments during the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway construction in Okunwaja in Lagos State. The petition claims the project affected 18 hectares of land and structures, with the highway diverted into their property. The petitioners want the National Assembly to demand the original project design and alignment approved by the Federal Executive Council. They also want the National Assembly to set up a committee to investigate and direct the Federal Ministry of Works to pay compensation at prevailing market values. Moving on, the United States Department of Homeland Security, that's DHS, has announced plans to deport 79 Nigerian nationals convicted of serious crimes, including fraud, drug peddling, assault, manslaughter, and robbery. The individuals listed on the DHS worst of the worst criminal list were arrested as part of the U.S. crackdown on criminal immigrants. This move is part of the U.S. government's effort to prioritize public safety and national security. The Nigerian government has been notified and arrangements are being made for the deportation process. The development comes amid ongoing discussions between the U.S. government and Nigerian government regarding deportation procedures and ensuring humane treatment of returnees. In another development, the Nigerian High Commission in Pretoria, South Africa, was disconnected from electricity on Monday due to outstanding utility bills, with the city of Tshwane citing unpaid debts as the reason. The disconnection was part of the city of Tshwane's Shamatima campaign targeting consumers with significant unpaid municipal bills. The Federal Ministry of Foreign Affairs attributed the unpaid bills to delays in the passage of Nigeria's 2026 national budget, citing funding constraints. NPF spokesperson Kimiebi Ebiemfa explained that the ministry was engaging with the mission and South African authorities to resolve the issue promptly. Away from that report, the chief executive of the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, that's NUPRC, Eshaya Orisamayiwa, has emphasized the need for stronger continental cooperation and regulatory alignment to unlock Africa's vast energy and mineral resources, as well as drive inclusive economic growth. Speaking at the Nigerian International Energy Summit 2026, Eyisan highlighted Africa's abundant natural resources, including nearly 30% of the world's critical mineral resources, and a youthful population of over 1.5 billion people, positioning the continent for accelerated industrialization. She stressed that coordinated policies, integrated infrastructure, and aligned regulatory framework could transform these advantages into industrial growth, stronger regional value chains, and improved energy security. Moving on, the Board of Trustees of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, has called on members to prioritize institutional caution over political haste, ensuring compliance with court orders regarding party leadership. Chairman of the board, Senator Mao Ohabunwa, made the appeal in Abuja at the 85th meeting of the board. Senator Ohabunwa threw his weight behind the Mohammed Abdul Rahman-led National Caretaker Committee, seen as loyal to FCT Minister Nyesom Wike, describing the current period as a defining moment for the party. Ohabunwa defended the recent delays in party congresses, citing a respect for pending judicial processes and the rule of law. He urged PDP elders to act as anchors of stability amid internal turbulence. Elsewhere, the Ebonyi State Police Command has arrested Anya Baron Ogwonia, coordinator of Amasiri Development Center in Afikpo, in connection with the killing of 4 persons in Edda local government area on January the 29th, 2026. Joshua Ukandu, the police spokesperson in the state, disclosed this in an interview in Abakaliki. SP Ukandu said the arrest followed a joint operational move involving the Nigerian Army, the State Security Services, and the Nigerian Security and Defense Corps. 2 traditional rulers, Onyadam Abasi and Godfrey Okwabia from Amasiri, were also arrested. The incident stemmed from a long-standing land dispute between Okporojo village in Oso Eda community and Amasiri neighbors in Afikpo local government area of the state. Suspected warlords from Amasiri attacked Okporojo village, beheading 4 persons, burning houses, and destroying properties. Recall that on Saturday, Governor Francis Nwifuru sacked political appointees and dethroned traditional rulers from Amasiri community over alleged complicity in the violent land dispute. The police had also announced 10 arrests in connection with the killings, with the command vowing to bring all involved to justice. And to some legal martyrs, a senior advocate of Nigeria, Femi Falana, says the military officers accused of plotting a coup against President Bola Tinubu's administration cannot be tried by court-martial under Nigeria's democratic system. Falana insists such suspects must be prosecuted in civilian courts, citing constitutional provisions. According to him, court-martial proceedings are for breaches of military discipline, not constitutional crimes like treason or overthrowing an elected government. Falana said prosecuting coup plotters in military tribunals would undermine democratic principles and the Constitution's supremacy, maintaining that treason and treasonable felony fall within civilian courts' jurisdiction. You're still watching the Media News right here on Voice of the People Television. We'll go straight to the analysis segment of the news. And joining us now to make sense of these stories and more virtually is Mr. Sunday Moses. Mr. Sunday Moses is a public affairs analyst and also the ADC chairman for Ikorodu Constituency 1 in Lagos State. Mr. Sunday, a very good afternoon to you and thank you for joining the analysis segment of the Media News.
Yeah, very good afternoon. Thank you, Lagosians and Nigerians, for having me. But let me just quickly put something right. I'm not the ADC chairman for Ikorodu. I am the deputy state secretary for ADC and a leader in Ikorodu.
We apologize for that mix-up. I guess my news team will definitely take note of that going forward. All right, moving forward, let's get to the stories. Now, I want to start off with this situation about Mr. Femi Falana, SAN, who clearly has said that military officers accused of coup plot should face civilian court and not court-martial. He cited the fact that we're in a democratic setting, and of course, a democratic system that which Nigeria is running from should not have such individuals court-martialed under any circumstance. What's your position with this unveiling position of Mr. Falana?
We align with the SAG because the truth is that though this is the first practical issues we have with coup during the democratic dispensation that is not successful, that can now be tried. So sincerely, since we have moved away from the military type of government, it is our time because it also puts respect in civilians that those found wanting now should be tried by the civilian courts, by the general courts. I think it will give a lot of sense of belonging that we are no longer in a democratic dispensation, which is one of the things the government in power has been trying to move away from everything that had to do with the military. I think it's going to be nice, but how soon can it be done is what we need to understand.
All right, then. Well, interestingly, I like the fact that you said how soon will it be done, but the military is saying that they have their laws and whoever is being caught under such circumstances should be court-martialed. Are we going to be warring against the position of the military as against the fact that, yes, we are in a democratic system of government presently, and of course, such persons should be prosecuted in the civilian court? I mean, the military also are citing their own constitutional rule and provision that is guiding them as military apparatus. What say you about that as well?
The military have argued, that has been the priority, the norm before now.
Right.
But seeing it that we are now in a new dispensation, but I think for us to even get there first, the National Assembly has to enact that law. Because since we are in a democratic dispensation, the issue of court-martial people that committed offense that has to do with democracy shouldn't stand. Because are we sure that these people will be treated in the best way that would be fine to the democratically elected government, civilian, unlike a military norms. So though they have their laws, they have their rules, but this is now democratic, and everybody should be subjected to the democratic whims and caprices of the country.
Well, again, I'm still going to stay with you on this particular story. You would recall that the federal government did, well, decline the fact that there was no coup plotting. Even the military at some point said, look, there was no coup plotting. We're just trying to maintain our own normal stance of checking some of our officials. Later, just last week, this whole situation about the coup came up to reality. What do you make of this information lacuna that has become so very obvious between the elite, the political elite, and of course the people? How much of a mistrust do we have when it comes to information and of course citing our democratic norms in Nigeria?
Well, to me, I think I love the way the information has been managed, because passing a coup information earlier in the regime, because according to news reports we got, this was initially planned for the handover day, which was later moved till I think 2025 or so. So announcing it earlier on, we destabilize the government. So I believe probably, and that would have even helped a lot of people to escape, a lot of those that have been alleged now to escape that arrest, and that would be costly for the nation. So I believe that the government, for the first time out for many years, have managed this information, because it would have bring panic to the people, then it would have destabilized the government if this information had been confirmed earlier on. So it's to me, I won't fault how this has been managed at this time. I think I will give it to them because I believe it was properly managed for such a disaster.
All right, then let's get to another conversation quickly because of our time. And I want to talk about the Nigerian Senate that is set to resume deliberation on the Electoral Act Amendment Bill. Well, today, amid all of the growing concerns on the part of even Femi Falana saying that the delay of these Electoral Act amendments by the Senate is clearly to making sure that the present political elite find their way into office. But then again, from today moving forward, the Senate is going to deliberate on this Electoral Act Amendment Bill. Again, what do you make of this before I move further with other questions pertaining the Electoral Amendment Bill?
I believe I said on this show, on another show last week, the truth of the matter is that before we can get a true amendment of this bill, it's going to be difficult for anybody in power to give us what we really want. So I believe that just like it was amended during the last regime, where some lacuna are still kept there, where the card reader is not supreme, I believe that we will not still find any headway, any super review from this. I believe so. So no matter what the Senate is trying to do, it's just going to be a sugar coating type of thing, so that Nigerian will just say it was amended. But what we really wanted, live transmission permanently put on, card reader 100%, the reliance on a lot of things that are technological wise. So I can promise you there is no light at the end of the tunnel for the review.
Well, you're a bit pessimistic about this, and that, of course, is understandable, judging from the last election, general elections, and of course what we saw. But the Senate is clear on what they want to introduce, particularly on these critical reforms, which will be including electronic transmission of election results, stricter penalties for vote buying, and of course, voting rights for inmates. This looks like something that will be in the front burner and when they are speaking about these reforms. Do you think that the Senate clearly might not want to have these kind of critical introduction into our Electoral Act signed in so that we can have a better and more freer election, so to say?
Yeah, I don't believe so, because politicians, the first thing a politician think about is how to win his election. Immediately they win one, they are thinking about how to win. So anything that will make them lose the election will not find its way at this point. When a politician will talk or when he will blab, immediately he loses the election and is now in the opposition. Then he will tell you about how best thing the butter is after jollof rice to bread. But while they are in power, don't let us deceive ourselves. That's why I've said it many times that the best way to get out of this is to have opposition handle the Senate. Let us turn it around. Instead of having majority leader as leader of the Senate, let's have minority leading the Senate. Then all these things will come to fall. But thinking that a miracle will happen, I don't believe it. I believe they will make me believe it when we see the result.
Well, it is quite understandable that you are talking from the part and the position of an opposition. But then again, let's talk about the electronic transmission of the election result. I mean, in the last just concluded general election in 2023, we understood how much of an impact the beavers, had on that election, which again, the then chairman of INEC did say on several fora that the beavers, and of course, INEC was fully ready at the time, and of course, the beavers was going to be a game changer. How much of an impact do you think the beavers would have or should have in our elections? And how much of an importance as well should the Senate place on electronic transmission? Now, conversations are clear about the fact that Nigeria is not even ready for an electronic transmission of results of our election. What's your position with all of this?
Yeah, those are the points I made, because if you look at the last election, though to some extent we had a lot of beavers influence in the result, as in states that normally will give you, like the KKK states in those days, that will give you tens of millions, ended up dropping to 1 million plus instead of the normal large numbers. So I can say that the beavers did a little. But the issue is that in as much as the beavers have been the base of accreditation, and results should also be based on that beavers. When you get tried in court, you get seeing points like there's other options outside beavers, which is still giving people some little space to rig those elections. Because they are telling us that in my own state now, we use beavers, and our results were able to cut down to almost 50% in terms of voters population. And in other states, they decided to use beavers because there's a documentation that says that when beavers does not work, there can be manual, there can be other things. Yeah. So that diminish the effect of beavers. So, and what we expect in the reform is that when beavers is not working, or doesn't accredit or doesn't recognize a particular voter, then the election can be, to me, it can be deferred and say that, okay, since this cannot work today, there should be no manual accreditation. Okay, let us give it another 30 minutes. Okay, let's try tomorrow. So that by that time, we can be sure that digital space, that digital control will be there for everybody. And when we talk about online transmission, now it happened to the same thing, because the issue of trust came whereby we cannot automatically see the dashboard of what is dropping. If the transmission is sacrosanct and is real time, then the loser we know on time is losing, and we accept. But in a case whereby you drop result for 10%, and for that 10%, we cannot even see what they score. And maybe the gap, an opposition is leading with 1 million gaps. And because we cannot see real transmission, the party in power can quickly balance it up and ensure they come with 2 million gap votes to cover up that. So those are the distrust we don't want. We want an election whereby all of us can see what is happening, no matter where it is coming from, and then we can know that, okay, the winner really deserves to win. If there is going to be any reform, that is what we want to see.
All right, then. Well, I'm still going to stay on this same conversation. Well, there is also the path of elections ending in the court. And that is, again, what we saw in the last election. How much of an impact, and of course, our election being free, fair, and credible, should our elections be ending in court? How much of an impact is that having afterwards? Plus the issue of vote buying and, of course, voting rights for inmates. Take us through your position on that as well before we move out of this conversation.
Well, democratically, the court is the last hope of the common man. So that election will not end the court. It depends on the opposition, the losing part. So to me, I will still not discourage election ending in court, because no matter how you beat a child, you can't expect that child not to cry. So if you tell, are we going to tell the loser not to go to court? No. So I think the common phrase that election is ending in court shouldn't be an issue.
But if our elections were credible, fair, and free, should it be ending in court? I mean, we've seen several.
Yeah, there is no election that will be credible and free to a loser. So let's just forget it. No matter how a loser emerge, a winner emerge, every loser will always feel the election is not credible. Well, so don't let us take that away.
We've seen
even in US, the election was done. They are still telling you, the loser is still telling you they will not accept the result.
The loser is congratulated the winner.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You can do that just to save face, or maybe to repair a relationship that may tomorrow get better. But when you get to your camp, you will know that, oh, they have rigged us out here, they have shit. So everybody has the right to seek redress. So that it ended in court, I don't think we should deny people that right.
All right, then. Thank you so very much, Mr. Moses Sunday, for joining the conversation this beautiful afternoon. It's a pleasure, as always, having you join the conversation.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
We'll take a very short break right now. When we return, more stories on the media news will be up next. Please do stay with us. We're glad to have you back. It is still the media news right here on Voice of the People Television. Now to more stories. The Nigerian Immigration Service, that's the NIS, has issued a warning about fake recruitment websites circulating online, claiming to conduct hiring exercises for the service. The NIS clarified that the only legitimate recruitment process is managed by the Civil Defense Correctional Fire and the Immigration Services Board. The NIS, in a post on its X handle, urged the public to report suspicious websites or adverts to authorities. Moving on to other stories, the Inspector General of Police, Kaide Betokun, has highlighted the evolving role of the Nigerian police force in promoting peace and stability across Africa. He spoke at a symposium hosted by the Nigerian Institute of International Affairs in collaboration with the Nigerian Police Force, themed the Nigerian Police and the Peace Process in Africa. Voice of the People TV's Oyedamola Olukoto has this report.
The symposium opened with remarks from the Director General of the Nigerian Institute of International Affairs, Ehosa Osage, who emphasized the importance of institutional collaboration and strategic dialogue in strengthening peace and security framework across Africa. He noted that professional and accountable policing remains key to conflict prevention and regional stability.
It's our pleasure at the Nigerian Institute of International Affairs to be collaborating with a very forward-looking police force. I said to us that the Nigerian police force is Africa's showcase police force.
Delivering the keynote address, the Inspector General of Police, Kaide Egbeteko, spoke on the establishment of the Nigerian police force and its mandate in maintaining law and order. He explained that the force continues to evolve to meet modern security challenges, guided by core values delivered through 5 strategic pillars.
Nigeria's consistent professionalism has strengthened African representation within international policing policy forums, including sustained engagement with the United Nations, Police Division, and contributions to evolving peacekeeping doctrine. The true impact of peacekeeping is often not captured in reports, but in lived realities. When schools reopen, markets return, and public trust is restored. In such moments, peacekeeping fulfills its highest purpose. Contemporary peace operations face unprecedented complexity. Asymmetric threats, violent extremism, transnational organized crime, and digitally enabled insecurity continue to reshape the operational landscape.
Chairman of the occasion, Adewale Adebayo, stressed the human dimension of policing, reminding officers and stakeholders that before becoming members of the force, they are first citizens. He said this understanding is essential in building empathy, accountability, and a stronger connection between the police and the communities they served.
What Nigerians want is a country where there's rule of law, where there's safety, where there's security, and that they can live their life and have good development. And that is what we should focus on. Nigerian police will adapt according to the law. Nigerian police does not write the law, they don't write the policies. It's we who are leading the country. When we come together and give them a good society to police, they will police it. So the duty is on us, national leaders, political leaders, to make everything right for the society and the police. Bearing in mind that first and foremost, before you are a police officer, you are also a member of society.
Participants at the symposium agreed that strengthening institutional values and reinforcing community trust are vital to the Nigerian police force contribution to peace process, both national and across Africa. Oyindamola Olukuton reporting for Voice of the People TV.
Thank you so very much, Oyindamola, for that report. Moving on to other stories, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has expressed commitment to overseeing the local government elections in the Federal Capital Territory. The Commission is also undertaking other preparatory activities, including campaign monitoring, receipts of non-sensitive materials, voter education, and sensitization stakeholders engagement. Our correspondent in Abuja, Abigail Ogar, has more in this report.
Speaking to VOP TV News crew, the Administrative Secretary INEC and Head of Department Voter Education for the FCT assured residents that every vote would count in the area council elections. The said collaboration with security agencies through the Interagency Consultative Committee on Election Security, the Commission is fully prepared to conduct free, fair, and credible polls on February 21 collaboration. On expectations for the elections, they expressed optimism about voter turnout, saying their expectation is that people will come out, the voters will turn out higher than they did in the last FCT election, and that the election will be conducted peacefully.
This is a sensitization program. We'll be moving men and materials, men and the vehicles, the vans, so nooks and crannies of the FCT. We are going to start from Amak, and then we'll move on to Buhari, to Kuje, and to as far as Abaji Area Council, to let voters know that we have the election coming up on the 21st of February. So it's basically sensitization programs in preparation for the election. We want to have an election that is peaceful, because if the environment is not peaceful, people will not come out. And one of our main concerns has been improving and increasing voter turnout. So we want to let Nigerians know, and FCT residents in particular know, that this election should be peaceful. There will be security agencies everywhere, in every polling unit and everywhere. So people are encouraged to ensure that they come out and vote. FCT elections have always returned with very low voter turnout. But we are very hopeful that this time around we'll have a better turnout.
As regards INEC, we believe in getting the citizen engaged through sensitization so that we can influence the attitude for non-violent participation in elections. And again, we're also working with the with the security agencies to secure the election environment, to make the whole thing, the whole process peaceful, during and after the elections. The device will be used to accredit either the facials or the fingerprints of these things. Without meeting these accreditation criteria, somebody can't vote. So with this, these are checks that we've put in to protect the integrity and ensure that every vote counts.
The area council election will be held across the 6 councils area of Abaji, Abuja Municipal, Buari, Gwagwalada, Kuje, and Kwali, which function as the equivalent of local government areas in other states. A total of 68 elective positions will be contested in the poll, including 6 chairmanship seats, 1 in each area council, and 62 councillorship seats across the wards. I am Abigail Olga, reporting for VOP TV in Abuja.
Thank you so very much, Abigail, for that report. Moving on to other stories. Traders at the Onitsha main market in Anambra State and other markets in the state have jettisoned the Monday sit at home and opened for business. Our correspondent Undo Palese in Anambra State went around to monitor compliance and reports.
As early as 8 o'clock this morning, only few traders were seen around the vicinity of the market. While some were opening their shops, others were just standing by, still apprehensive that non-state actors may strike in protest. However, before noon, the heavy presence of security operatives bolstered the confidence of numerous other traders who now opened their shops for trading activities. The situation was same at Niger Street, Bida Road, and Haruna Street sections of the main market, though with only a handful of customers present to purchase goods. Some traders described the situation as a gradual process and expressed optimism that the customer turnout will improve by next Monday.
As you can see, most of our members have closed their shop and they left due to no customer. So we are here waiting for some time to close. We even appreciate the Monday market. As you can see now, a lot of people was inside the line. So maybe by next week, a different thing will be happening.
Because of fear for them, so today they come. I'm just optimistic that by next Monday, again, we're a larger turn up.
Other markets in Onitsha metropolis, including Ogbaru Relief Market, Plastic Market, Ogbogu Market, and Electronics Market, were all open and engaging in buying and selling. Meanwhile, elsewhere, like the Niger Bridgehead, which is the entry gate to Onitsha, it is witnessing normal activities with people moving about their businesses. Ndo Abaleze, VOP TV News.
Meanwhile, Governor Chukwuma Soludo later visited the Onitsha main market to monitor the level of compliance of traders to reopen the shops for businesses on Monday.
The main market is now open for the first time after 5 years. I'm going there to buy a few things. I will go to the other emergency line. Now, I will come to your shed. You can shed the Yagamagan your shed. I'll come to your shed. Thank you very much. Thank you. Imejuleju. Hey, Magamabia, Agamadia, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you. I love you all. I love you.
Well, thank you so very much, Ndu, for that report. Moving on to other stories, the government of Kwara State has inaugurated a multi-sectoral committee to strengthen the One Health approach, enhancing disease surveillance, detection, prevention, and response to public health threats. The initiative was unveiled at a stakeholders workshop organized by the Kwara State Livestock Productivity and Resilience Support Project, that's ELPRES, in Ilorin, the state's capital, aiming to build the state's capacity to respond to emerging and re-emerging diseases through coordinated actions. National Projects Coordinator of ELPRES, Dr. Sanusi Abubakar, stated that the program addresses existing gaps in collaboration among critical actors responsible for implementing the One Health framework in the state. You're still watching the Midday News right here on Voice of the People Television. We'll go on a very short break right now. When we return, more stories in business, sports, and entertainment will be up next. Please stay with us. Glad to have you back. It is still the Midday News right here on Voice of the People Television. Now to some business stories. The Nigerian Economic Summits Group, that's the NESG, has predicted that Nigeria's real gross domestic product, that's GDP, will grow by 5.5% in 2026, driven by the implementation of the federal government's economic transformation roadmap's consolidation phase. This marks an improvement from the estimated 3.8% growth in 2025. NESG CEO Tayo Aduloju noted that Nigeria is at a crucial economic point, that reforms starting to deliver results, showing that inflation is easing and the foreign exchange market stabilizing. However, Aduloju warns stabilization alone isn't enough, and policy consistency is key to translating reforms into welfare improvements. According to him, the choices that will be made in 2026 will determine whether recent reforms are institutionalized or whether fragile gains are eroded. Still in business, the Dangote Group has strengthened its energy security with expanded gas supply agreements with the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL subsidiaries, Nigerian Gas Marketing Limited, and the NNPC Gas Infrastructure Company. The agreement signed during the Nigerian Gas Master Plan 2026 event in Abuja will support Dangote Petroleum Refinery, Dangote Fertilizer Plant, and Dangote Cement PLC's expansion plans and promote cleaner energy use. Dangote Group CEO David Bird stated that the agreements mark a critical milestone in the refinery's expansion drive, securing vast energy requirements for increased production capacity. The move comes amid the federal government's plan to increase gas production to 10 billion cubic feet per day by 2027 and 12 billion cubic feet per day by 2030, attracting over $60 billion in investment. And from business, we'll move straight to sports. Leicester City has completed the loan signing of Nigerian midfielder Joe Aribo from Southampton until the end of the season. The Foxes on Monday confirmed reaching an agreement to bring in the Nigerian international temporarily. 29-year-old Joe Aribo brings Premier League and Championship experience to the Foxes, having played for Southampton and Rangers. He made 111 appearances for Southampton across 4 seasons and has earned 34 caps for Nigeria. And to wrap up the midday news, we'll go straight talking entertainment. Nigerian Afrobeat star Davido has revealed that his Grammy-nominated song "With You," featuring Omale, almost didn't make the cut for his 5th album. The Afrobeat star, who made the disclosure in a media chart, said the song was not a favorite during internal listening sessions. "With You" has become one of Davido's most successful recent releases, topping charts and surpassing 100 million streams on Spotify. Davido expressed emotional attachment to the song, often wondering what would have happened if he had made the final track list. Meanwhile, Davido is currently focusing on touring and releasing new music, with a confirmed performance at Coachella 2026, where he'll be the only Nigerian artist on the lineup. And with that entertainment story, we've come to the end of the media news right here at Voice of the People Television. But before we go, let's take a quick look at the headlines one more time. Senate to resume deliberation on Electoral Act Amendment Bill amid public outrage. Nigerians in diaspora petition National Assembly over Lagos-Calabar highway compensation. U.S. to deport 79 convicted Nigerians on criminal list. NUPRC CEO says Africa needs unity to unlock energy mineral resources. Femi Falana, SAN, says military officers accused of coup plot must face civilian court and not court-martial. NIS warns Nigerians against fake recruitment websites in circulation. In business, NESG projects 5.5% GDP growth for Nigeria in 2026. In the world of sports, Leicester City boasts midfield with Joe Aribo's loan signing. In entertainment, Davido reveals Grammy-nominated With You almost missed the 5th album. And with that, we've come to the end of the media news right here on Voice of the People Television. Do also subscribe to our YouTube channel. On YouTube, we're at Voice of the People TV, and on all other social media platforms, we are at VOP TV Live. Thank you so very much for being a part of this broadcast. I am David Edwin. Do have a good afternoon.
Africa is on the move, a continent of rising voices, untold stories, and powerful transformations. From the streets of Lagos to the heart of Nairobi, from the mines of Congo to the tech labs of Cape Town, the African story is being written every day. Bold, dynamic, unstoppable. This is African News on Voice of the People Television. We don't just bring you the news. We analyze and bring you Africa's heartbeat, the politics that shapes our nations, the economies that drives our future, the cultures that defines who we are, the voice that must be heard. Africa News, Africa's voice, Africa's future. Where Africa speaks, the world listens.